And so this is the second meeting this week, and the last week that we're going to have 2 meetings. So in a week. So I have a new link that I'm going to send you today when I send our recording out that will give you the link going forward, because we'll only have Thursdays going forward. And if we ever do, like over a holiday, change it, we'll talk with each other and we'll make arrangements. Because I think that if we have a Tuesday that comes up, we'll make it after the meeting at the office, because Nick's going to put our meetings on Tuesdays. So it'll work. But so one of the things about the module today is really just getting out there and getting with people. And so fortunately, we're kind of able to do a little bit more of that now. And so have you guys had the opportunity to get out and do like coffee meetings or lunches with people? Yeah.
Heidi, I think you know that my meetings are beer meetings exclusively.
That works. Beer, whatever, you know, you got, it's the connection.
Yeah.
You did watch, if you watched Buffini last week, remember he said, he was talking about pop buys and there were a lot of different liquor pop buys. He said, yeah, let's just liquor them up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Doing the car bombs, yeah.
And to answer your question, yes, I've had some beer meetings with some people that I hadn't seen in a while. They went well.
Well, I was excited because I haven't had the opportunity for a long time, but I have 2 this weekend, Sunday, 2 that are actually, we're having dinner at one client's house, and then we have a pop by that turned into an appointment to meet their puppy and hang out with them for a little while. And then the following weekend with another client. So it's starting to be where people are more comfortable getting together with us, even though we might have been comfortable getting together with them a little earlier on with some of the precautions. That I think people are getting more comfortable, which is really helpful in inviting people out. But I know it's not over yet. I did see that Buffini canceled that event here in Denver. And so he's canceled both the California and the Denver. And I'm sure it was just because of limitations with COVID. I'm going to ask the coach today exactly what happened. But one of the funnest things I think is getting together with people like this. And as Buffini says, breaking bread. But whether it's you know, yeast at a different level or whatever it is that we're sharing, it is an opportunity to connect. Did you notice where they talked about having our clients connect with each other?
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting thing. I really only seen that at like our business mixer, where a lot of the different business people will get together and trade cards and things like that. But I think it's going to be fun because, you know, now that I'm not doing it for the whole office, it's a whole different thing. When we did our pie parties, and we had to cancel it during COVID, of course, but when we did our pie party, when I was managing the office, I did it as a whole office event. And I didn't really understand why everybody didn't want to participate and they would do their own. But we learned last year why. So we did our own last year because we couldn't get together. And Erin did hers at her house, and everybody kind of did their own in their own way. We delivered ours, but doing it at your house or at your own location without other people being involved, or just people with your own team, would allow those people to talk with each other. It's an element in there that you don't get when you do just a big old company event, right? So maybe that's why a lot of people really did their own thing and didn't participate as much in the big company events. Does that make sense to you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Doing it yourself. And, you know, they're putting together the vendor, you know, they reached out for any vendor recommendations, but you got to be careful with who you give your recommendations to, because that's your team. And you want to be that reciprocal referral partner. And so referring somebody to your clients is great, but as soon as you start referring your favorite people to other realtors, it does give the opportunity for someone else to step in and get their business. And I have seen that before with like my referral resource in Grand Lake, Susie Mackey, and I sent a few different people to there. Well, I know that she has received referrals from other realtors, and now I'm not the only one getting them. Make sense?
Heidi, I was thinking,
Yeah.
I was thinking as I was going through my database and updating, and calling people to check in and really better qualify them. Getting their, asking, if I don't know, asking what they do. And then putting together, like as part of one of my monthly emails, putting together, if they want to be shared, like a Google sheet or something that people can access to see, like, oh, you know, one of my clients works for Allstate and sells insurance, and just like a resource guide. That could be another way to maybe potentially connect your clients.
That's a
It's not
great
in
idea.
person, doesn't cost anything, but it also, you know, you can also, you know, it gives you another touch point with them.
Well, I think that's a great idea. And it's sort of like it just expanding on that, the opportunity with the feeding stuff that you can have it co-branded with somebody. So you could do that with your email too. So you do a monthly newsletter and you're really creative with your stuff. But that's a great idea that anybody could incorporate. Would you like to be my vendor of the month or something like that? Or of the week, and then have their link to their service and maybe a little blip about them. Great idea. That would definitely be a way to help people connect with each other and be more of a resource for them. Because as soon as you start giving people referrals, they start giving them back. It's reciprocal. So
Well, it's an excuse to talk to them and not have it be like a selfish, you know, are you going to buy or sell anytime soon? It's like, hey, I'm just updating my database. I want to just see, you know, how work is, or I never actually asked you what you do.
what a great, yeah. Well, and that's a great conversation too, because then if you're talking about family and then occupation, the whole Ford system works great. I'm writing this down. So customize your email with business links and co-branding. I think that's a great idea. So I wonder why you didn't mention that. So thank you for that, Olivia. It's a great idea. Should have been
Also, just really quick,
Yeah.
I should have mentioned this at the top of the call. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I have to give Ray a shout out. Just super kind and supportive, and said something really nice earlier this week that I needed to hear.
Oh, well, thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's always nice. So kudos to Ray, and I love that that our group supports each other. That's fantastic. And so with this today, so getting out there, getting people together, and I think that it's kind of this time to do it. We can see the benefit in it. And you like the idea of getting out there with your favorite people first, you know. One thing I really noticed in here was in the 3 parts where you have the breaking bread and the client parties. And there's you know, we talked a little bit about the reverse the pie party, which was hilarious in this video that he's like in Costco and they have the 3 pies, and it's like all of a sudden everything we've been doing is not original at all. But the media part. And so the 3 parts of community, the breaking bread, the client parties, and the media part. And I thought of this instantly. I was thinking of you, Olivia, because you are so well connected in the media already. That it really brings in that sense of community into your business also. And so it's nice if you can get your people in your database listening. So how do we, and maybe you guys can give some ideas, how do we get people to listen, to go to our websites, to go to our podcast? How do we do that? What are some of your ideas that you do, Olivia, to get people to drive them to your media?
I do a lot of like local, like highlighting local business posts. Well, I've done like a handful. I've been wanting to do more, where like we'll go check out a new restaurant and I'll just film a quick little reel for Instagram. I'll even like talk to the owner and get his or her backstory and buy like a $20 gift card and ask people to either, it doesn't, you know, whatever it is, follow me, comment, share my post to be entered to win this like $20 gift card. And that gets a good response because, you know, I'm not just like saying I'm a realtor. I'm highlighting something in a business in the community that I genuinely, enjoy, because I'm already sharing that anyway with friends and family. So I'm just taking that 10 extra minutes to put something together for Instagram.
That's awesome. I love that idea. And so the people then, because just like he was talking about that, everybody has their own network and they'll share your posts and things like that with their people. And so you do that. And then does the business owner, typically where you buy the gift card and things, do you share it, and do they ever send out your stuff too?
Well, they'll like share my post that I posted about them. Or yeah, they'll just like reshare it to their, like the Thai truck that I got food from last week. It's awesome. I go there all the time. I talk to the owner all the time. He actually asked for my card. We were talking about different neighborhoods. I posted about it. He shared it, and I got like 6 new local follows from him.
That's awesome. What a great example. So that's what Buffini means by sense of community, is really getting out there and getting into the face-to-face in our groups with our client parties, which we're going to start being able to do more of, and in our social media, and being creative like that, where you can have something where you're actually benefiting, because Olivia clearly was benefiting the restaurant owner, and then that was a benefit to her back. So really cool stuff. And I love it that we're starting to be able to do this more. This was the hardest thing during COVID, is this sense of community. And I think that's where we all had huge challenges. And now we're just getting back into the community with still some challenges, but being able to take baby steps and get in and deepen those relationships. One thing I like that I appreciate is the quick and easy. So, when we get together with people, we don't necessarily have to sit down for hours. It can be a 30, 40 minute little get together, right? For coffee or beer or an hour for lunch, but it doesn't have to be half your day. So that's a really important thing, because when you plan a client party or something like that, you put a lot into that. And I know it when you do your interviews and all of those things that you put together for your social media, like with the business owners, that takes advanced effort, a lot of advanced effort. But getting together to have a beer or coffee or just some short meeting with somebody just takes a little bit of effort and a little bit of time, and get together, and the benefits are great. So I love the tips. Develop a professional greeting. And I was thinking to him, it's like, oh, top of the morning to you. That's what he says every day. But no, seriously, we have to make our scripts our own. And these are obviously people that these scripts are for new people. But there's nothing wrong with saying, I wanted to reach out to the business people I know, and asking. It's like you find out about a business, if you're asking when you're making the calls, hey, let's get together for coffee. I'd love to hear more about your business. And here's a question. Bob Berg wrote a book called Endless Referrals. And he said that the number one question you can ask someone when you are at a networking event is, how will I know if someone I meet is a good referral for you? And that way they'll tell you a little bit more specific about the person that is a good referral for them. And so, it's like somebody might be a plumber, but how will I know if somebody's a good referral for you? They do big jobs, they do little jobs, but you'll find out more about their business. And then you get their interest by asking those questions. And it's about more questions, because people like to talk about their business and themselves, right? So asking questions. You like that part where you said, when you're at a networking event, to forget about yourself for a while? I mean,
Yeah, that actually was kind of eye-opening. That's great. I mean, I think that's sort of the whole thing, right? If you're interested in them, they're going to be interested in you, probably. I mean, if you're genuinely, how's everything going? How's business? I think it'll just come back naturally returned. Nobody wants to be sold on you. I don't know. That's how I feel when people are trying to sell themselves to me. I've totally turned off. Let it come organically, I feel.
Totally. And they say measure your success at a networking event by how many cards you get versus how many cards you give. Because if you get the cards, you have a follow-up. And so whenever we go to like and we'll start having them again. Remax would do networking events around town, so you could go and you could network with different agents too. And I've had a lot of referral business from those in the past because people down in Parker don't necessarily want to sell up in Westminster. So they're great opportunities. And when you go and you get their information, and even though there are other realtors, it's how many cards you get. Challenge yourself by how many people you can meet and put in your database to follow up with. And then send referrals and be of service to them. So I think it's just a different perspective. We think of networking and going and talking about what we do, and it's great to have that elevator speech, but what we really need to do is be a set of ears, right? Ask questions, listen and listen and listen. So the leads groups. So that's kind of what we do when we do a business mixer, kind of. Although we don't limit it to just one type of business, but when we get together for these mixers, it's really kind of our own kind of leads group. So that's one of the things that he'll probably talk about a little more in this class later, is setting up those business mixers with your vendors. Although I have noticed he's gone in a whole different direction with sources of wealth and the community. I think he's really trying to get more into a one-on-one relationship with business owners versus a larger leads type group. So do any of you belong to leads types groups right now? Or anywhere where any groups of special interests? And I know I've talked to you a little bit, so I know that David is into RC cars and the little race cars, and Ray, he is in the Screen Actors Guild. Michael does poker and stock clubs. Olivia, do you have an outside club or anything that you're doing? I mean, you have your podcast, and that is, but not necessarily because you have to do that on your own. Do you have any groups? And I know you were going to a networking group, and that's where you got the idea to go to Frolic for all of us.
Yeah, that was a free event. It's a paid, that group is a paid networking group, which I don't want to do it right now.
Sure.
I guess like my CrossFit thing, the running club I'm part of.
Oh, okay.
Like
Running
that.
club. Yep,
That's
that's
a
right.
big deal around here, the running club.
Yeah, I'm not as active in that club, but I'm part, I meet them like every couple months for a run.
That's cool. I'm trying
Well,
to join.
I was thinking about, groups. I used to love Toastmasters. And right now I've got my hands full a little bit with the parents and stuff. I'm gonna look into caregivers groups, people that have maybe people that they're taking care of. It might be a good opportunity to get some support and make some new friends. And other than that, I have my church, my card making group. So I went to them on, I had my meeting on Tuesday. And so I brought them all a pop by, all the little old ladies. And I brought them the pansies and that said, I am so excited about this real estate market. I wet my plants. You should have seen these little old ladies. They are just laughing. It really was cute. But I think it's really important that you have those opportunities to get out there and meet new people through those groups too. And that's creating a sense of community. Another thing that we can do now. We don't have to do on Zoom, which I'm super excited about.
It does feel like we have a little more opportunity now with the vaccine and everything. I just know a lot of people that did not want to go out at all. And now they're suddenly wanting to go out. These are my close friends that even I would only see them in passing because they were so, I don't know, that high in that group that's sort of potentially, if they got sick, they were, in a situation. So.
Well, and it can be scary. Michael's mom, she lives in Florida, and she's tried. She's not one that really likes vaccinations and that type of thing, but she did catch it. She's got it. She recovered from COVID, but she hasn't recovered from bronchial pneumonia. So she's being treated for that. She's 75, and so she didn't even have it bad, but it's just a thing. And that you don't know. That's why you just had to be so careful. But now, even they say that even if you get it when you have the vaccination, that the whole the level of illness is lower and the risk of life threatening. But the more, I just think it's really good because there are some people that can't get it, and we just need to have more tolerance for people that can't, and understanding for people that don't feel that way. But also for the people who are, we get together, and that feels really good because the doctor said that if you're together with people that have been vaccinated, that you don't have to wear your mask. So I have my vaccinated pin now.
Where did you get your vaccinated pin, by the way?
I got it from my little old lady card group, and I can take orders for anybody that wants some. I know, it's so funny. But so our action steps. Do any of you guys have any reservations? I don't think you do, in going forward and getting together and maybe doing some community touches.
Not at all.
You're all comfortable. You're all doing it, and so we all are, really. So we're continuing to sort our database into the A, B, C, and D. And what really happens is, now that we have groups, there's way more than just A, B, C, and D. So now I'm going through and I'm making groups. So I have a group of people that I haven't really developed a relationship yet, that used to be in mom and dad's database. They're in their own group, even though they're all pretty much C's, or there's a couple B's in there. But now I can just reach out to them, like if I want to say something about what mom and dad are doing or something. So I think it's really important to group in those categories.
I was going to say, great point, because then you can consolidate your marketing effort for that little snapshot of time or activity that you're doing or thinking about with those folks.
Yeah. And this is new with the CRM. He's really grown that. And so I think we'll learn more about that. Right now, he's just got you putting them in the A, B, C, and D and qualifying. So next week, we just have the one day next Thursday. But we do have 3 modules, and none of them are very long. I like it that these modules are pretty short. You can sit down and listen to a video in like 20-25 minutes, which is pretty good. So next week, the 365 system, the time management wizard, which is one of our biggest things, is time management. Who was it? Aaron Larkin gave me the idea for the egg timer on our group meeting last week or something. Who gave us the egg timer idea? Anyway, I bought one so that I could not get squirreled. Like I had 30 minutes to get this task done. And so, because I get squirreled so easily. So time management is huge. And then managing the world's most difficult person, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be ourselves.
Fun.
I'm thinking it's my seller right now, but really it's probably me.
Isn't this fun?
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's what we're going to do for week 3, those 3 modules, and we'll get together then on Thursday. Let's see, the world's most difficult person. Yep, guess what? It's us.
And it was reminds me of timeshare sales days, because everyone was your world's most difficult person.
Yeah, that's right. And in time management, we're going to learn how to win the day. So that's hard to do. It takes 2 hours to win the day, 4 hours. You have to win the day, 4 days out of the week to win the week, 3 weeks out of the month to win the month, and 8 months out of the year to win the year. I want to win the day. I'm working on the day.
Agreed.
That's my goal. I'm going to win the day. And I think that's what, on our Buffini mastermind thing, I think that's what Erin said she was going to do, to win the day. So, and that's just getting this stuff done in one day and then checking it off in the CRM. And I still haven't had my trophy for that. So I'm going to try to do that this week. It doesn't seem like it would be that tough, but the egg timer will help, because getting squirreled tends to be my biggest problem. What about you guys? Any biggest challenges that you will have to winning the day or accomplishing everything you want to do?
Staying focused, like you said, just making sure I follow my little marks on my calendar.
Yeah,
I
do
had such Oh, go ahead.
Oh, that's fine. I say I do accomplish more when I'm in the actual office,
Oh,
like a
okay.
lot more.
You're
I
in
should-
the office?
no,
I
I'm
thought
not
you were
in-
in San Francisco.
Yes, I mean, yeah. No, I'm at home right now, but when I'm in the office, I get a lot more done.
Yeah, I had a good couple months where I was getting up at my 5 a.m. and going to a 6 a.m. workout and showered and sitting down by 8. And then the weather was bad and I was sleeping in. And now I'm like slowly getting back to that early wake up. So as soon as next week, I'm like determined to start it again. And that puts me, I win my days when I do that. When I don't, I get work done, but I wouldn't say I win my days.
That's interesting. So getting up and getting that attention, the physical energy in the morning is what helps you to win your whole day.
Yeah, because if I don't do that first thing, like I haven't worked out yet. So I'm going to go do that, but then I'm not going to shower before I work out.
Right? Of course.
So I have to walk the dog still. I have to do my workout. And then it just sets it, I've gotten some stuff done this morning, but it just pushes it all back.
Yep. Well, I find that when I get up early and I get because I have a morning routine and I should work out. My hiking is pretty much my workout. I run up and down the stairs a lot, but I get up and I do my Bible study. I quit turning on the TV a couple years ago because it was really depressing. There's really not much good on TV. And so, and I get plenty on my news feed that comes across on my phone. I'm never lacking to know what's going on, but getting up and just focusing on that time. And that's, the spiritual energy, the physical energy. And sometimes I forget to get the food in because we need that body energy too. So that's something that I've been trying to work with Michael. It's like, I'm going to get to that hangry stage if I, so it's another thing. You just have to get those things in line because we know our optimal performance and we know what to do, and only we can actually make it happen. So I'm looking forward to my first coaching call today. We'll see how he kicks our butts.
Hopefully it's not too brutal.
I doubt it, but if just listening to the Buffini way, if they're coaching clients, if their one-on-one coaching clients average that income, they don't want that to go down. So they're probably going to have some pretty high standards for us. But that's good because I truly am a believer that as many people, or as many guns you point to yourself, that's the level of effort. It is really hard to tell your coach you didn't do your work. And when they say why, it's like, well, because I was lazy or what? I mean, it just doesn't feel good. It doesn't make you feel good. So I offer that. I like to be I call it not necessarily a coach, but an accountability partner or a focus partner, because having that person really helps. And so if you don't have that person, which I know you guys do, because like I coach with David and I coach with Olivia and Ray, but Joanne, who's not on here today, I have no idea who she coaches with. And I think it's important to have somebody that you're accountable to. And it can't be your spouse, by the way, just so you know, it can never be your spouse. And David, you don't have that problem yet, but when you have it, your spouse can never be your coach.
Yeah, no, you gotta leave that at home.
Well, I hope you all have a fantastic day, and we'll see you next Thursday.
All right. Thank you, Heidi. Have a
Bye.
good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.